Now, as I've declared that as an array, i.e. a list of strings, more than one string in a row, I now need to just talk about those individual fields themselves, and they're going to be a single string. So declare in memory. I'm going to call this one current field. If the other was current row, that kind of makes sense. So also notice again, I always use camel case in these. So this one I just have as a string, not as an array. Okay, I'm going to do another loop. So this is nested loops. We've got our while loop happening there, which ends. We're now going to have a for loop. So the big difference between the while loop and the for loop is the while loop, I have no idea how many times it's going to loop. It's going to keep looping until it's not the end of data. A for loop, on the other hand, I will use when I know exactly how many times I want it to repeat. So now the amount of times I want that to repeat is however many fields there were. So I'm going to use an interesting command here. I'm going to use each. So for each, now this is really interesting, is remember I've just made current field and it's a string. Well, I'm now going to use the word current field. It's really weird because it has no clue what current field means other than it's just a string. So what we're really saying is for every string that's in this array of strings, that's what it really means. And instead of saying string, we're actually just naming it here as current field. So we're going in our array, which we called current row. And don't forget, of course, then I just want to test this. And that's weird. That should be a capital. Pardon. And I want to test this just by using a message box. So notice as I pressed enter, it gave me the next. Next is the way to end a for loop. So it's going to now repeat it as many times as there are strings in that array. Remember, that array is just one line at a time. So to test it very quickly, we're going to use the message box, and that is msg box. And now we can just use this string we've created. So current field. There we go. I've got some spaces, a bit too many spaces adding up there. I'm just going to remove a few. It's just untidy. Okay, so there we go. So what it's going to do now is it's going to look at each of those fields and it's going to call out in a little message box. I'm going to save this now and I'm going to test it. Now, as I press the go button, that's my first field, 0. It's a joke and it's an answer. I now get 1. What happens to elves when they are naughty? Santa gives them the sack. Boom, boom. And hopefully now what it'll do is go to the next line, line 2. What's a child's favourite king at Christmas? Of course, it's a stocking. Boom, boom. And so on and so forth. Now, I'm not going to record me testing the rest of these, but you should, to make sure it gets to the end of the file and then stops without any other errors. Right, so I'd like you to, I'm just going to stop this now. I'd like you to enter that information. Don't forget to get the different types correct. Away you go.